What if I told you that you've been playing the wrong brawlers in every single game mode? This video features the best brawlers that you need to be playing in every game mode so you can absolutely dominate throughout all of Brawl Stars. Alright guys, the first game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Heist, and the brawler you need to be playing in Heist is going to be Colette. Now with Colette's ability to chain supers after just 4 attacks, it makes her absolutely deadly to chain supers onto the enemy team's Heist safe. If you can, try to hit enemies along the way to the safe to help you chain more supers even faster. You will deal damage to the enemies, chain your super, and deal damage to the safe. You always want to try and hit as many enemies as you can to get as much value as possible for every super. Angling yourself to hit as much targets as you can will only benefit you in the long run. Now to help you chain up your supers even faster, I would recommend running Colette's Push It Star power. This will make it easier for you to constantly chain supers onto the safe if you can manage to hit enemies on the way to the Heist safe. Bonus if you can hit your main attacks on nearby enemies as well. Not only is Push It great for guaranteeing half of your next super, it is great to push the enemies away from you and your teammates while you are trying to make a push towards the Heist safe. Just keep the enemies back and continue the pressure as best as possible. Now to help you stay alive so you can continue that pressure onto the Heist safe, I'd recommend running Colette's Gotcha gadget. On activation, Colette's attacks heal herself for 5 seconds for 80% of the damage dealt. This is great when you are going up against high health brawlers because with Colette, the more health that the enemies have, the more damage you'll be dealing. So if you can lane tanks or other brawlers in general that have a ton of health, you'll be dealing and healing so much more with the same attack. Now of course, the cherry on top to make Colette one of the best brawlers to play in Heist is her hypercharged Teen Spirit. Colette's Spirit will follow her during her dash and damage enemies along the way. Essentially, she uses one super, but she gets the value of her super doing double the damage. Colette can deal a guaranteed 20,000 damage since it'll be 5,000 per hit, and you'll hit the Heist safe a total of 4 times. Alright, some honorable mention brawlers that I recommend you guys use in Heist is going to be Chuck, Jesse, and Melody. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Knockout, and the best brawler for Knockout is going to be Byron. Now I know Byron doesn't have a lot of health, so you want to be using his long range main attack to keep your distance. To take advantage of Byron's range is to chip away at enemies with this stacking tick damage while also dodging incoming fire. Once the enemies are low on health, you can use your super to finish them off. Now the great thing is that you can use your super as a lobbing attack, so it can be thrown a good distance, but more importantly over walls and obstacles if you need to. Now Byron is going to be one of the best brawlers to play in Knockout because of his ability to heal and deal damage with the same main attack. Not only will Byron be good in a game mode like Knockout, but he'll even be good in Wipeout and Bounty too. He has his long range to hang with the other long range brawlers, and when needed to, he can heal his teammates to keep them alive. If you think about it, Barry is another healer that can deal damage and heal with the same main attack, but with Byron, you get the long range plus the stacking heals per main attack. Now when playing Byron, I'd recommend staying in the mid lane so you can heal your teammates that are on the side lanes. If you notice your teammate to the left or to the right of you is low, then you can at least shoot them once to help them passively heal while they attack. This will give your teammates confidence that you are there to support them, and this could allow them to out-heal the enemy that they are trying to lane against. However, if you are on the side lanes, you can only help out your teammate in the mid lane since your other team would be way too far. Support brawlers should typically be mid brawlers for this reason, but it's also because they aren't big damage dealers to win the side lanes. Now something that can help you deal more damage per second if you need that with Byron is to run his booster shots gadget. With this gadget, Byron's next attack shoots 3 darts instead of 1, each dealing 20% less damage and 40% less healing. Now even though the darts aren't going to deal the same amount of damage as they usually would with his main attack, it is still going to be a great option to deal lots of damage if tanks and assassins get too close to you. Same rules apply if you need to heal your teammates in emergencies. Now some honorable mention brawlers you can also run in Knockout is going to be Piper, Angelo, and Nani. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Showdown, and the best brawler for Showdown is going to be Lily. Now Lily is going to be a great brawler in this meta despite her recent nerfs. Lily can still deal a lot of damage once she gets within range with her super. You can dodge incoming damage when using your super, which is another bonus to help you throw off the enemies. Plus with the help of her trait that helps her charge up her super, kind of like Buzz, it helps Lily get her super with less risk. Now ever since Lily's been released, one of the most annoying things about her entire kit is running her Vanish gadget. Now if you notice there's a lot of damage coming your way, you can just activate your gadget and just escape into the shadow room for the next couple seconds and avoid all the heavy damage. You can even hide inside of a bush and travel to wherever you need to go for the next 3 seconds and use that to get closer to the enemy. There is no way the enemies will be able to know where you went if you change directions after you activate your gadget. Running the Vanish gadget is going to be a great escape tool for Lily to use in Showdown. And of course we can't forget how annoying Lily's spiky star power is because it's going to help you deal more damage after you backstab the enemy. With the help of the spiky star power, being able to deal 50% extra damage with your next main attack just makes it so much more rewarding when connecting your super. The more damage you can deal with spiky, the faster you will charge your super, and the more backstabs or increased damage you can deal onto the enemies. Now if you can get to the end game in Showdown where it's maybe like you and maybe 2 other brawlers or whatever, like her ability to finish that game and get first place is insane. All you you gotta do is activate your Vanish gadget to freak out the enemy, and then use your super to backstab them and burst it down for an easy win. This brawler doesn't require any skill at all, kinda like Kit, so if you have Lily, get the Vanish gadget and it's free trophies up until about 600 plus, and then that's when it turns into clown stars. Now some honorable mention brawlers you can also run in Showdown is gonna be Kit, Surge, and Leon. Alright guys, the next game mode we're gonna be talking about is gonna be Gem Grab, and the best brawler for Gem Grab is gonna be Jean. Now since Jean's attack has a very widespread angle, it is very effective at checking bushes. Now this is where the vision gear comes in very handy as well. Jean's scouting is unmatched, and especially when combined with the vision gear, the enemies will have no shot at being able to hide from you and your team. This can be useful on most of the maps in the rotation like Gem 4 and Hard Rock Mine, where there are a lot of bushes. Having constant vision of where the enemies are will make it even more difficult for the enemies to make a play. Now what's also great about Jean's main attack is being able to poke away and chip away at the enemy's health from a distance. Jean's ability to kinda just lower the enemy slowly from a distance is one of the more annoying things about his entire kit. You wanna always keep your distance and slowly lower the enemy's health, or just prevent them from healing up in general. This will keep the enemies back and allow you and your team to gain more control throughout the map. Now clearly one of the best things about Jean's kit is gonna be his super. Now Jean's super is an incredibly useful tool that can turn the tides of a game within a blink of an eye. Now this is easier said than done, since most amateur players miss a lot of their Jean pulls, so you really need to focus to ensure that you hit that super. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of people in the comments saying that Spirit Slap is gonna be the better star power, but if you watch the pros, they run magic puffs. When using magic puffs, you need to stick to at least one of your teammates at all times so they can passively heal while they attack. This will allow your team to gain more control and pressure, since they won't have to stop attacking in order to heal. This will make it easier for your teammates to passively heal while they are trying to win their lane or trying to maintain control of the gem mine throughout the match. Alright, some honorable mention brawlers that I recommend using Gem Grab is going to be Clancy, Chester, and Darrow. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Brawl Ball, and the best brawler for Brawl Ball is going to be Mo. Now Mo is extremely broken in Brawl Ball because of the self-pass cheese. All you need to do is grab the ball, kick it forward, use your super to go under the ground to dodge all incoming damage, and with the knockback you deal when you pop up out of the ground, it will put the enemies in a slight hit stun. That is when you use your super to super kick the ball into the goal for some quick and easy wins. Now what's great about Mo's super is you can use it to get enemies that are camping behind walls, obstacles, or even behind water. That is probably one of the more unique things about Mo, right? Is his ability to travel under the ground. So take advantage of enemies that are low, trying to heal up so you can get an easy kill. Even when using your super to gain pressure up the map after surprising the enemy can relieve stress off of your teammates. Now when you're in Mo's driller form, you can use the increased movement speed for multiple different situations. For example, the increased movement speed will come in handy to get closer to the enemies, run away from the enemies, or just get to wherever you need to go, because Mo moves insanely fast when you hold down that auto aim. Now with Mo, his main attack damage can be kinda inconsistent, but something that can help you is running his skipping stone star power. This is something I discussed in my Mo guide, was the inconsistencies with his main attack. It's very particular in the way you need to hit the enemy to deal more damage, which is kind of annoying sometimes. However, with an additional skip of the stone splitting thanks to this star power, this can help you chip away at the enemies much easier, or just deal more consistent damage from the mid range. Now some honorable mention brawlers I recommend you guys use in Brawl Ball is going to be Frank, Darrow, and Mortis. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Hot Zone, and the best brawler for Hot Zone is going to be Gale. Now Gale is such a great brawler because it can counter any aggressive brawler in the game. These are the brawlers that are going to be most dangerous at close ranges, so if you can use your super so they are not within range of you anymore, then you and your teammates will have the range advantage against them. Also try and use your super onto multiple enemies if possible. You want to try and get as much value as you can, no matter who you are playing in Brawl Stars, but when you have a super as good as Gale's is, it's good to push away more than one person if you can. Now something that can help Gale lock down choke points and lock down the hot zone is running his Twister gadget. Since the gadget will only work if the enemies walk into the tornado, then you want to use it as a defense mechanism to prohibit the enemies from pursuing a kill onto you. Also, if you place the gadget in a place where the enemies need to cross in order to get to the hot zone, it will make them waste time to either wait till the gadget is done or run around to a different lane. Now to make Gale even more annoying in the hot zone, I would recommend using his Freezing Snow star power. Freezing Snow basically prevents the enemies from being able to run away whenever you hit them, thus making it easier for you and your teammates to get that target down. It will also make it harder for the enemies to dodge your incoming damage, since they'll be slowed down trying to do so. But the true reason why Gale is one of the top brawlers in Hot Zone is because of his hypercharged blizzard. When activated, Gale's super is 2 times wider and creates 2 gusts of winds and snow, which pushes enemies farther away than usual. The amount of damage that he can deal helps him shred down the enemies even quicker, and you can't forget about the stat buffs he gets from the hypercharge, making him even stronger. Alright, some honorable mention brawlers you can run in Hot Zone is going to be Barley, Lou, and Meg. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Bounty, and the best brawler for Bounty is going to be Piper. Now one of the the great things about Piper's kit is using her super to shape the map to your advantage. You can destroy walls which your opponents would otherwise be using to hide behind. Due to Piper's very low damage at close range and her low health, she cannot afford to be ambushed by tanks at close ranges, and instead must have an open area which tanks have to cross to get to her, allowing Piper to position herself well and attack the enemy. Now the gadget I'd recommend using for Piper is going to be Homemade Recipe, and when using that gadget, don't give the enemies time to react before using it. An amateur mistake I always see is that people activate the gadget but wait to use it. Use Homemade Recipe immediately after you connect onto an enemy and you know they're within one shot of dying. This will give the enemies less time to react and a higher chance of your gadget connecting onto them. Now you can never go wrong with gaining more ammo inside of Brawl Stars, so something that can help Piper gain more ammo is running her Snappy Sniping star power. Snappy Sniping allows you to continue the pressure and rewards you for connecting your shots. It's a snowball effect where the more shots you hit, the quicker your reload speed will be and the more opportunities you will have to hit more shots. Now one of the cherry on tops to Piper's entire kit is running her Hypercharge Boppin'. Since Piper's Hypercharge can knock back enemies when landing, she can use that to her advantage by knocking back enemies and then quickly walk backwards to snipe at the enemy, which would give you a free kill. Alright, some honorable mention brawlers you can also run in Bounty. I would say Nani, Angelo, and Bell. Alright guys, the next game mode we're going to be talking about is going to be Duels, and the best brawler for Duels is going to be Kit. Now with Kit, there's this nasty combo you can do to deal over 11,000 damage. All you need to do is use your basic attack, super, basic attack 2 more times, and then use your super again. Now of course all that damage won't be needed in like 3v3s where it's less likely to happen, but when you're playing Kit in a game mode like Duels, I mean that is why he really shines here. Now another reason why Kit is so good is because of his cardboard box gadget. I mean come on now, being able to go invisible for the next 3 seconds is a great way to reposition yourself and move around the map in order to surprise the enemy. But not only that, you can use this gadget to charge up your super 100% faster when you are standing still. Now what's also extremely toxic about Kit is you can use his super to cancel the enemy's abilities. In Duels, you can use your super to jump on top of the enemies and prevent them from executing their attack, super, hypercharge, whatever it may be. This will make it more annoying for the enemies to follow through in their vision and only make it easier for you to win the duel. Well anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed that ranking video, I highly recommend go check out this ranking video right here.